Cyperspect, this GeoFlux here. Let's talk about this work-life balance that never existed. First of all, I've been up on the go since 7 this morning. It is now 20 minutes to 10 p.m. So, what work-life balance are we really talking about? I mean, because, and I think we need to break it down even further than just work-life. Because your family is a part of your life, but I also feel like family is work. So it's not necessarily a work-life balance. It ends up being you have responsibilities and priorities, some of us, to numerous people in our lives that can be family members, children, partners, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, significant other, etc., etc., etc. So, and yes, they're a part of our life, and we love them, and we care about them, and we like them, and we want to be around them when we can. It still ends up becoming a job. It ends up becoming a task. It ends up becoming work. It ends up becoming labor, whether it's emotional labor, financial labor, mental labor, physical labor. It still ends up becoming energy that has to be exerted, right? So I don't like calling it necessarily just work life, because a lot of times your life is family, but your family, your kids, your significant other, etc., can still become your friends, can still become laborish after a while, especially when you never have time to truly rest, to truly relax. It can become a lot. Right? Because, like, I'm getting up 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. You're at the, you're at the office, or you're at your factory, or you're at the fast food restaurant, or you're at the convenience store, wherever you work at, okay? The warehouse, wherever you work at. Or you work from home. Because I'm going to also talk about that too, and how that ends up kind of low-key being another version of hell in its own special way. But so either way it goes, on average, at least in the USA, we work 40 hours a week, which, let's be real, most of us arguably work well over 40 hours a week. So should we even say average? Should we just say that the so-called standard was 40 hours a week to be full-time, but a lot of us work well over 40 hours a week? Even, you know what I mean? Because, like, even at your job, you can easily work over 40 hours a week. And then if you have a second job, which most of us have part-time and side hustles, some people, you got people who have 2 full-time jobs. I know people who do. Businesses. And then, let's be real, like I said, to me, you should break it down to include family or other responsibilities. Yes, they're a part of your life, but if you're getting off work to go home to children, that's a job. If you're getting off work to run errands for family members, for your parents, for your grandparents, for family members, for friends, that's still labor. That's still work. So that's what I mean by, so a lot of people, after working that so-called 8-hour day, even though we know a lot of us work well over 8 hours, like I said, you could have a part-time job, side hustle, business, whatever it may be, and then you do all of that, then you commuting. Those of us that have to commute, I'm gonna do another video discussing at home, work from home, remote, in a separate video. But you're commuting, so that's time to and there, back and forth, here and there. That's time. Then if you have children, you have a significant other, you have somebody that you're talking to, you're dating, you have a partner, you have a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a boo, friends with benefits, whatever. You have children, you have parents, you have grandparents, you have friends. You're giving them time too, which you want to, right? Like some of these people obviously are part of our life. We want to give them time. In some cases, we want to give them more time than what we're giving. But again, because of how our current work life is set up, a lot of us don't have time for that at all. And I kind of sit back and I think, everyone wants to go in on the parents, but let's be real here. And don't get me wrong, yes, hold parents accountable, hold people accountable. I'm not saying don't, but also look at the whole picture while you're doing that too, right? You can do more than one thing. Nuances. Excuse me. But parents working 40 or more hours a week, which most of us work well over 40 hours a week, well over 8 hours a day. And then they're supposed to commute. And then they're supposed to also still have energy and be like there for their children, like help them with homework, take them to basketball practice or whatever sports game, or, cheerleading, or if they're in chess club or glee club or whatever. You're supposed to be there for them. You'll spend time with them. You're supposed to help them. You're supposed to listen to them. You're supposed to buy them things and support them and all of this and that. But how are you going to do that adequately if you're gone from the house? Let's say you're gone from the house 12 hours a day. The kids are at school 8 hours a day. Y'all supposed to go eat and go to sleep eventually and then get right back up and do it all over again. So exactly how are the children really being cared for adequately if the parents have to work around the clock? How is anybody really adequately being cared for? The parent, the adult, or the child, the children? How is anybody? Right? Oh, you're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep. How are you supposed to get 8 hours of sleep when every time you turn around, you're on the grind? I spend more time at work than with my family, than with my friends, than with my dogs, my pets, my fur babies, my children, with my god kids, with the person that I've been talking to and other people that I hang out with. And it's just like, and then the second amount of time that's spent is on my other job, my side hustles, my part-time job, and other business ventures that I'm working on. And then family. One thing about it, I make sure I do what I can, and that's a priority in my life. I make sure to see my family. I make sure to, and again, I talk about it all the time: narcissistic abuse, toxic relationships, childhood trauma, dysfunction. I talk about it. But I'm a human being, and I'm going to be very upfront and transparent and straight to the point, and I always am. I still am there for my family. I'm still checking in on my mom and granny. It is what it is. I still check in on a lot of people, but I have my boundaries too. But at the end of the day, I prioritize things in my life, people in my life. So if I'm, and this is kind of off topic, there'll be another video on this, but if I'm giving you time is currency, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, somebody is giving you a piece of their day, giving you a moment of their time. And then a lot of times when they're giving you a piece of their day, a moment of your time, or their time, or your time, a lot of times that does include some type of labor, some type of energy has to be exerted here in some form or fashion. Sometimes it's low energy, so you don't have to do a lot, or sometimes being around them, even though you're giving energy, they're giving energy that's positive or that's like good for you. It's reciprocated and stuff. So you both balance each other out. But either way it goes, you're still giving what? Energy. You're still giving what? Time. You're still giving what? Some type of labor. So, again, if somebody's giving you time, please respect, appreciate, honor that. Don't take it for granted. Because, again, time is something that we will never be able to get back. I mean, it's a very expensive currency, right? Because you can spend dollars and dollars and dollars and dollars. But in theory, if you're in the USA, the Federal Reserve is going to continue to, in theory, print out bills. We're not going to print out time. You feel me? You can't get your time back. In theory, you can get your money back, your bills back, but time is just not. But either way it goes, I mean, this current system, in my opinion, is just, it's a hellfire. This place is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. We all deserve better than this, in my opinion. But I just want to talk about that because I'm like, what is work-life balance? Like, it's 9:52 and I'm on the highway heading home. Like I said, I started my day at 7 this morning. And am I going home to go right to bed? No. I got stuff to still do. So that's why I'm like, what? Anyways, so to say I'm tired is a gross understatement. And to say that a lot of people, arguably most people are tired. I'm sure some of you watching this are tired. So, or you know someone who's tired. And I'm just saying, we could have a better life. We could have a better society. We could have a better world. And we are making decisions every day, whether we want a better world or we don't. I mean, we literally could change things for the better, collectively, together. And we all individually have the power to do it, but I'm gonna say it as cliche as hell, but power is in numbers. Strength is also in numbers. You know, united we stand, divided we fall. So we really can do things together collectively if we wanted to do it, if we chose to do it, if we made efforts to do it. Collectively, together. Each one teach one. Helping hands lend a hand. Do something besides this crazy shit, because this ain't working for most people, arguably. Arguably, most of us are not enjoying life. You know, we're not enjoying this current setup. All you gotta do is look around you. You know, a lot of us can look to the left, look to the right, look to the back, and it's all hell. It's hellfire. Now, I'm not saying that everything is bad, because, like, I recognize my privileges. I recognize my blessings. I have, Lord knows, universe knows, ancestors know. I've been blessed, and I am very much blessed and privileged. Or as the elders and the ancestors say, I am blessed and highly favored. But I recognize my privileges, and I don't take any of these for granted. I'm not saying that, you know, I didn't have support. I don't have support. I'm not saying that I didn't have a helping hand. I'm not saying any of that. I did. I do. And I also work my ass off. And that's how a lot of us are. Some of us have more privileges. Some of us have less privileges. Some of us are more marginalized. Some of us are less marginalized. Okay? Nuances. Not saying that any of these aren't true. What I'm saying is, we don't have a work-life balance, in my opinion. There's nothing. If I'm giving you 40 plus, the standard work hours in the USA, if I'm giving you 40 hours a week, but then I'm only getting 16 hours on average, or the standard weekend. How is that a balance? I gave you 40. You're only giving me 16. So it was already bullshit. Number two, a lot of us work well over 40 hours. A lot of us don't even get weekends off, don't even get days off. You got people that are working 7 days a week, back to back, 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 year round. You got people who, okay, even if they do get 5 days off from one job, their part-time job is on the weekends or on the days that they have off. Or, you know, they're working on their business, they're working on school, they're doing this. So again, and then the out cold part is, you would think after all of this busting your ass, you know, I mean, at this point, my butt has blisters that are like opened. Okay, that probably is not good. But the point is, I work my ass off, so it's like a nub. You know what? Never mind. The point is, I work a lot. A lot of us work a lot. So you would think, oh, if I'm busting my butt, I'm on the grind, I'm getting to boom, boom, boom. You know, today was probably going to be a 16-hour day. It's typically anywhere between 12 to 14, but a lot of times it can fall between 10 to 16. Our day, you would think we would be rolling in the dough, rolling in the dough, the dineros, right? The moolah, okay? The pesos, the dollars. We would be rolling in currency, right? We would be balling. But that's not what's happening. To a lot of us, we're working our asses to the bone, to the nub, and we ain't got shit to show for it, because price gouging, aka inflation, cost of living, everything is sky high. Everything costs so much more, you know, and we're still being paid like it's pre-COVID. And even worse than that, we're still being paid like it's 2012, 2002. Shit. When you look at some of these salaries and wages, nothing has really gone up for our wages, our salaries, our pay. You know, like I said, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. And it's been like that since July 2009. I was in high school. I got my first job. I was 16 in high school, and the minimum wage for the federal minimum wage for the entire United States of America, with the 3 Ks. Let's get it right. Is $7.25 an hour. And yet, where can you afford to live in the USA, or where most people are living in the USA, any major city? Where can you afford to live on $7.25 an hour? Okay, and then if gas is, you know, on average 3 something a gallon, how is that person making $7.25 an hour supposed to get to and from work? Or if they're using public transportation, if they need to get a carton of eggs, you got to pay utilities. You live in Michigan, you live in the Midwest, you live in the Northeast, you live somewhere where it's cold and it's snowing. Your utilities probably looking like rent right now. Or if it ain't looking like rent, it's definitely looking like you just booked in a hotel stay somewhere, because it's at least $300 or more. So, again, what? Work-life balance. And then if you're going to be working your butt off, why aren't you rolling in the dough? Why aren't you stacking? Where's the money? Because we're paying bills. We're trying to get out of debt from this and that. Whether it's college, it's credit card, it's medical, it's the if you're getting a car, the auto loan. The point is, y'all. The point is, you're not rolling in the dough, but you're giving up a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of labor. This really is the rat race.